Hi, and welcome to Craft Along with Jay. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Yetta, and I'm so happy you could join me today. This is so exciting. This is part of the 12 Days of Christmas, which runs from October 1st through the 12th, and there's a theme for each day. So look out for video every day these next 12 days. The hosts are Rustic and Lace DIY and Crafting in Mimi's World. And don't forget to check out that playlist in the description box. This is going to be so much fun. So today's theme is ornaments. And I'm going to use this IOD silicone tray that I got a while back. And I've been waiting to use it. I'm so excited. And here I'm just prepping it with some baking soda. And I'm going to do 4 ornaments from here. That brown thing on top looks more like a frame of some sort. So I'm not going to be using this. But just the 4 ornament parts like you see here. And then I'll use my DOS clay and I haven't used it in a while, so I'm just kind of working with it here, warming it up, making it more pliable. So, and then once I got that done, I'm going to start casting my molds. And yeah, I start with one. I'm just pressing it down, press it down really well so you get the little details on top and you kind of get, um, a nice smooth surface to work with later. And I'm just pressing it down and then I'm just kind of wiping off along the edges, get the excess clay off. And then with the baking soda being at the bottom, it's they're easy to release from the silicone tray. Yeah, I'll put a little bit more. And then once I got that to my liking, it broke a little bit in the middle, so we just kind of smooth that out. And then we'll get it out. And then we got the first one. And then once I do all 4 of them, I'm going to set them aside. I dry them over several days. Each day I'll turn them over so they get even drying time front and back. And it took me several days to get them completely dry before I move on to the next step. And here you can see I'm kind of making sure the back is nice and flat. And if there's any little left over around the edges, I just kind of pat it in a little bit or gently kind of scrape it off. But yeah, we're going to make 4 today. And I've been so excited about this one. So yeah, and the end result, wait till you see the end. They're absolutely gorgeous. If I should say so myself, which is important, right? And here I ran out of the dust, which is my favorite clay to work with. But I got this bucket at Walmart, and I've used a little bit earlier. But the top part, for whatever reason, even though the lid has been on tight, it was a little bit moist. So I just kind of dug to the bottom to get some of the clay that was the real clay texture, if you will. And I'm working with that. So I got to figure out what's going on with the top part. I may have to go in and play around with it a little bit and kind of figure it out. But yeah, but it all worked out just fine. And I'm just fixing it a little bit here on the top. Got a little sticky clay. And then once that's all dry, several days later, I'm going to paint them all front and back with Waverly chalk paint in the color white. Give them just one coat because it's pretty similar to the color of the clay anyway, but I just wanted a nice coating of chalk paint on there. Give it a nice surface to work with. And then, once that's all dry, I do one side and let it dry and then do the other side, of course. And then we'll work with it from there when it's dry. I got these really absolutely gorgeous vintage looking rub-on transfers from Amazon. And we're going to work with some of those. So I'm just lining them up and then I start picking what I want to use for my little ornaments. I believe I choose an angel for the first one. Yeah, making sure it will fit on there before I start cutting it out and using it. And then I picked a whole different ornament. It looked like I was going to use the round one, but I guess I changed my mind. That is funny. I kind of tricked myself there. And then I'll just add it right there, and then I'll just start rubbing it in. These comes off very easily. These ones were very easy to work with. and they're not as sticky as some other ones I've gotten off of Amazon in the past. So that's just, yep, that's what it looks like. I love this one. So nice. It's like rustic vintagey at the end. Just wait till you see it. And then I got a little nutcracker for this one. See how easy that comes off? And that's just making sure like it's down tight. Use the top of the paper just to make sure that it's all attached well to the ornament. And I cut a little Christmas tree. And I was kind of playing around with some other rub-on transfers to go with it, but I couldn't get it to look right, so I just stuck with the Christmas tree. But it turned out super nice. Yeah, see, I'm still trying to figure it out, but like I decided just to leave it as is. And then for the last one, I used, I think it was two little kids on a sleigh. Thought that was cute. A lot of these rub-on transfers just reminds me so much of my childhood as well. Yeah, vintage. I'm that old. But there we go. That's what they look like. Aren't they just adorable? Gorgeous, gorgeous rub-on transfers. Then I'm going to give it a coating of gloss Mod Podge because I want it to have like a ornament shine to it, if that makes sense. And I'm sealing in the rub-on transfer as well. And I do front and back of all of them. I give the front a coating. When that's dry, I give the back a coating so that way it's even toned all the way around. So when they're hanging on your Christmas tree, you can see the back part of it and it's going to be uniform. Then I got this rub-on transfer and I'm just going to add some to that little, that little metally looking thing on the top of an ornament. I don't even know what it's called, but you know what I mean? I'm going to paint that with some rub and buff. I think it may be antique gold. I can't remember. But anyway, it looks super good. And then I also did, and that long thing with the Christmas tree, I do end up doing the little tip at the bottom as well. And then there's a little lining right there. Yeah, I highlight that one as well. And then I decided, well, let me just highlight the edges too. Kind of got carried away with it, but I like it. And I'm just kind of starting out with my brush and then my finger kind of go over it afterwards to get it around the edge. And I do that to all four of them. I'm so excited about these ornaments. I can't wait to put them on my tree. I think they turned out absolutely gorgeous. I know I'm bragging on myself. I can do that when I'm happy with something, right? Then I'm using some very watered down antique wax and I'm just going over the whole ornament except for the top part where I used the rub and buff. I left that alone. Then I just took a damp paper towel and wiped the majority of it off. Yeah, just to give it like that aged look, vintagey look to it. And it turns out really well. So just a damp paper towel and then also go with a dry one a little bit right there. You see the difference between the stark white and then this one? There's a big difference. And I love it. And then I'll do the same thing to all three of them, except for the top part where we use the rough and buff. I leave that alone. And I do the same thing to the back part, even though it's plain, but just to give it a uniform look. And then if you get a little bit too much of it off the stain, you can go in and add some more and then rub down again. It's very easy, but because we have that sealer on, it's easier to wipe off, and you don't stain the whole thing and the whole thing looks dark. So yeah, I love it. So here, and then we're just gonna take paper towel and wipe off the excess. But you'll see this because it's clay, there's some imperfections in the front, and you can see the antique wax going in there, and it looks good. I'll give you a close up here at the end, and you'll see it. So you just kind of play around with how much aging you want going on here and how dark you want it. But yeah, I guess I'm showing you all four. That's how excited I was about these. So yeah. So don't forget to stay tuned for tomorrow. You'll it'll be another day. So I'm trying to make all 12 days and I'm so excited. Then I'm just getting some red velvet ribbon and I'm just gonna make a little loop and attach it to the back of my ornaments. So don't forget when you're done with this video, there is a playlist down in my description box as well. So go check out everybody's ornaments. This is so much fun. You will definitely get expired. Oh my goodness, inspired. That's the word, inspired. So make sure you check that out. So here I'm going to attach the little loop to all of them. And then look at this. Aren't they gorgeous? I love them. I just have it on this little mini tree from the Dollar Tree that I put together for now. But yeah, let me know what you think down in my description box. And don't forget to check out the playlist and watch everybody and show everybody some love. And if you made it all the way to the end with me, I appreciate you so much and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then.